One blurry
There once was a
image
place
changed
that
everything
for
on
centuries
April 21st of
existed more as
1934.
legend
On that
than
morning,
reality.
readers across Britain opened
It
their
was called
newspapers and saw something that
Timbuktu,
looked
a
like
name
proof
that
of the
carried
impossible.
images of
There,
endless
rising
gold
from
and
the dark
towering
waters
wealth
of
and
Loch Ness,
a city so
was a
rich
slender
it seemed
neck
almost
and a small head,
mythical.
calm and
Explorers
steady, as if it
dreamed
had
of it.
always
Empires
belonged there.
speculated about
It did not thrash or roar,
and many who tried
it
to
simply
reach it existed,
never came
quietly
back.
daring people to believe in it.
On April
And so
20th of
they did.
1828,
By that
one
point,
man
Loch
finally
Ness was
dead.
already
His
simmering
name was
with rumors.
René Callier.
The previous year had
and
seen
what
a
he
surge
found
of strange
would
sightings
shock the
from
world.
drivers claiming
To
a
understand
massive
why his
creature
journey
crossed the
mattered so
road
much,
in
though,
front
you
of
have
them.
to understand the
To witnesses
obsession.
describing long necks
generations,
slipping beneath the
Europeans
water.
believed that
Newspapers
Timbuktu was a
amplified
city of
every story, each
unimaginable
one
riches.
feeding the next. Stories
The
described
setting
kings
helped, of course, a
surrounded
deep,
by
cold
gold,
loch surrounded
markets
by
overflowing
mist and
with rolling
trade,
hills,
and a place that
does
held
not
the
need
key
much
to wealth
encouragement
and
to feel
knowledge in
mysterious.
West Africa. Once the
But there was
idea
a
of a
problem.
creature took hold,
No one could
every
find
ripple
it. No
became
one could
suspicious,
confirm
and
it.
every shadow started
Some
to
had
look
tried.
like an
One of the most
impossibility.
notable was Major
As the
Gordon
stories spread,
Lang,
so
a British
did the
explorer
imagination
who
of
reached
the public.
Timbuktu just
The creature
a couple
began
of
to
years
take on a
earlier.
familiar
But
shape,
on his way out,
something ancient
he
and
was murdered,
reptilian,
and his accounts
often compared to
never
a
fully
fully
recovered
restored
from the
So
dinosaur
the legend
age.
remained
This
intact
was not just a random
until
monster
Callier.
anymore. It became
Now, here's
something
what
that
makes
felt
his
almost
story
scientific
different.
in its possibility.
René Callier was not
as though
a soldier
evolution had
backed
left
by
one
an
survivor
army.
behind.
He was
purely
not a
by
nobleman
accident.
with endless resources.
People sketched it,
In fact,
described
the man
it,
was an
argued
orphan
over
from
it,
France,
and waited
with
for
a
a moment
fascination
when
for
proof
adventure
would
stories
finally
and a determination
arrive.
that kind of bordered
Then
on
came
obsession.
the photograph.
As a boy,
It was tied to
he
a
read about
respectable
distant lands
London
and
doctor
imagined
by the name of
himself
Dr.
in
Robert
them.
Kenneth
He
Wilson,
left home young,
which gave it
with
an
very
air of
little money,
credibility
and
that
began
few
building
other
a life
sightings
that would
could ever
eventually
match.
lead him toward
The
Africa.
image itself was simple,
But he did
almost
not rush
understated.
into the
It
journey.
was a calm surface of
Instead,
water,
a
he
curved neck,
prepared.
and a quiet
He
presence.
spent years.
It did not
learning
scream for
Arabic.
attention. It invited
He studied Islamic
interpretation.
customs,
And that
and understood
invitation
that walking into
and
unknown territory
interpretation
as a European
turned
would
out to
almost
be
certainly
quite
get
powerful.
him killed. People did
He knew
not
the
just see
stories.
a shape in the water.
So he chose a
They
different
saw
approach.
confirmation of
He would
everything
disappear into
that
the
they had
world he
already
was
begun
entering.
to believe.
He dressed as a Muslim traveler.
This
He
is what a lot of
claimed
people
to be from
weren't already
Egypt.
aware
He
of.
joined
The most
caravans
famous
and moved
image of
carefully
the
through
Loch Ness
regions
Monster
where
was not a
outsiders were
discovery
not
at all.
welcomed.
It was a
This
carefully
was not just
constructed
exploration, it was
hoax.
survival through
A toy
adaptation, and
submarine
the journey
had been fitted with a
itself
fake
was
neck and
brutal.
head, and then placed in
He
the
traveled
water
across
and
rivers
photographed
at
deserts
just
and
the
regions
right
controlled by different
angle.
groups. The motivation
Each one
was
had
not
their own
scientific
rules and their own
curiosity or
dangers.
even
At
playful
one point, he
mischief.
became so ill that
It
he
was
was
revenge
forced to remain
carried out
in a
by
village for
individuals who
several
wanted to
months,
embarrass a newspaper that had
barely able to
previously
continue at
ridiculed
all.
them.
Fever,
The photograph
exhaustion,
that
isolation,
convinced the
all of
world
this followed him
had its
constantly.
roots in something far
And
smaller.
still this man
and far
kept
more
going.
human. Eventually,
Hatred.
he reached the Niger River system.
Decades
and
later,
he
in
continued toward his
1994,
goal.
the truth became
Moving with
widely
traders
accepted.
carried goods. The
across
illusion
vast
collapsed,
distances.
and the famous image
These
shrank
caravans
from a
were
symbol
not
of
simple
mystery
travel
into
groups. Nothing more
they
than
were
a clever
lifelines
trick.
filled with
But something
merchants,
interesting happened.
animals,
The legend
and goods
did not
that
disappear.
included everything
Other
from
sightings,
cola
other
nuts
photos, other
to
claims,
textiles
had
and
already built a
sometimes even
foundation
slaves.
that could not be undone by
The world
a
he
single
moved through
was as complex,
revelation
harsh,
about
and far
this
removed from the
original existing
romanticized
photograph.
stories as he could possibly
The story itself
have
had
ever
grown
imagined
beyond
having
this
been
photo. It
told
had
back
become
home.
part of culture, especially in and
But then
around
after
Scotland.
going through all of that,
It was part of the
finally
imagination. It
arrived
was
on
part of
April
the human
20th
desire to
of
believe
1828,
that something
he
unknown
had
might
found
still exist in a world
Timbuktu,
where almost every corner had
the city
already
that
been
had
explored.
captured imaginations for
So the Loch Ness Monster
generations.
still remains, not as a
And
proven
here
fact, but as a
is where everything
remarkable,
changed for him.
persistent idea. The
Because what he
photograph that fooled
found
millions did
was
not
what
create
he
the
or what
legend
anyone
that already
had ever
existed,
expected.
but it gave a face to
There were
people.
no gold streets.
That
There were no
it gave a
towering
face that
displays of wealth.
people could not
There were
forget
no overwhelming
easily.
signs of riches.
And even after that face was revealed,
Instead,
to be
Callier described the
false,
city,
that story kept moving
completely
forward with
built
a
of
momentum.
earth homes,
It was unbelievable.
modest trade.
It turned out
with
that a
quiet
mystery does not
atmosphere.
need to be real to
He
feel
compared it
meaningful. It only needs to feel
unfavorably
possible.
to other
And
cities
oddly
he had
enough,
seen,
there are
noting
some
that it
people
lacked
in
the
the world
scale
today
and
that
energy
still
that he
believe
had
that this
imagined.
original 1934
The legend
grainy black and white
completely
photo of of the
collapse.
Loch Ness Monster.
Everything people
Actually
thought they
depicts
knew about Timbuktu
more than a
was
toy
based
submarine
on
and
exaggeration
papier-mâché.
and rumor and distance.
They believe it truly
but Callier's
shows
achievement
the
did
real
not
Loch
end
Ness
with
Monster.
reaching the city.
even though it has
He
been
left.
debunked multiple
And
times.
that's what truly
So
set
here's the
this man
question I
apart.
want you to answer
Joined
in the
a
comments
massive
for me. Do
caravan
you think the
heading
Loch Ness
north
Monster
across the
survives
Sahara
because
Desert.
of the evidence
Hundreds of
that
men
people
over
claim to see, or
1,000
because we
camels, and a journey
simply
that
want
would
to
test
believe
every
that the
limit
world still
of
has
endurance.
secrets left
The desert
for
offered
us to
no
uncover?
shortcuts. It
Let me know what you
demanded
think.
patience, resilience, and the ability
And if you
to
enjoy
survive
stories like this, make sure
with
you follow the
very little.
Facebook page for
And against
more
those
deep
odds,
dives into history's
Cavalier
most
made it through.
fascinating moments. And
He
subscribe
reached
to the
Morocco,
podcast. Then
so you
return to
never
France,
miss an
carrying with him
episode.
not just his story, but
One
proof.
blurry image.
He was the
changed
first
everything on
man
April
to
21st
have
of
returned
1934.
with proof that
On that morning,
Timbuktu
readers across
was
Britain
real,
opened their newspapers and
but
saw
also
something that looked like
with the proof
of
that it was not
impossible.
what the world
There,
believed it
rising
to
from the
be.
dark waters of
His
Loch
account
Ness
earned him
was a
recognition and
slender neck
awards,
and a small
and even a
head,
place in history.
calm and steady, as
Pretty
if it
good
had
for an orphan.
always belonged there.
He became the first
It did not
non-Muslim
thrash or
traveler to
roar.
ever reach
It simply
Timbuktu and
existed,
return
quietly
alive to
daring people
describe
to
it.
believe in it.
And perhaps
so
more
they did.
importantly, he changed how people understood
By that point,
exploration.
Loch Ness was already
Sometimes the greatest
simmering
discovery is
with
not
rumors.
finding something
The previous
extraordinary,
year had seen a surge
but
of
it's
strange
realizing that the
sightings
extraordinary,
from
drivers claiming a
never existed
massive
in the way
creature crossed
people
the
ever
road in
imagined
front of
it.
them, to witnesses describing long
So now I
necks
want to hear
slipping
from you.
beneath the
Do you
water.
think
Rene Callier's
His journey is more
amplified
impressive because
every
he
story,
survived
each
and
one
returned,
feeding the
or
next,
because
he was willing to challenge a
setting helped,
legend
of
that so
course,
many
a
people
deep,
wanted to
cold loch
believe
surrounded by
and had
mist
died
and
trying to
rolling
find?
hills does
Tell
not
me your thoughts
need
in your
much
comments.
encouragement to feel
I always enjoy
mysterious.
hearing your perspective on these
Once
stories.
the idea of
And
a
if you enjoy the
creature
deep
took
dives
hold,
into real history like
every
this,
ripple
make sure you
became
follow the
suspicious,
Facebook
and
page
every shadow
and
started
subscribe
look
to the
like
History
an
Happens
impossibility.
podcast
So you never miss an episode.
As the stories spread,